Alright guys, it's time for a Taoist life lesson. How to become extremely successful in life. How to get married really, really well. How to get the job that everybody wants. How to become someone's business partner that everyone wants to be in business with. There's a huge major secret that most of you guys are totally fucking up. Which is why most of you guys are totally poor. And I'm going to tell you what it is. In order to make money or to get happiness or whatever, if it's a social construct, in other words, money comes from where? Trees? No, that's a natural construct. Money comes from words? No, that's a communication construct. Money comes from people. Money comes from society. It's a social construct. So if you want money, what you have to do is be of value to society. That's it. That's just how it is. It's really simple. Now, remember that. If you want love, if you want to be loved by somebody, exact same principle holds true. Where does love come from? Love, does it come from trees? No. Does it come from, I don't know, books? No. Does it come from your stereo? No. It comes from people. So what you have to do for love is be of value to people, or a woman, or a man, or whatever. Now remember that. The key here is to become. You ever have a bowl of water and you drop an apple in the bowl of water? How much water comes up? How much water splashes up? Now you take that same bowl and drop a cantaloupe into that same bowl. Boom. You drop a watermelon into that same bowl. How much water comes out? Poof. What you want to do? You want to drop yourself into a romantic relationship, into a job interview, into a partnership potential possibility, into a venture capital portfolio investment opportunity where you get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to build what you want to build, your company, your software, whatever it is. What you want to do is be that watermelon in that bowl, so that you create the biggest splash upwards and you get the most of that water right back at you, that comes back at you. You get insane amounts of love that splashes back at you when you become of value to one woman or to one man, when you become of value to a business construct, a CEO, a potential partner. Versus, you know what happens when you're a sponge? You take this bowl of water and you drop a sponge in it. What ends up happening? Whoop! Water disappears. Nothing comes out. Most of you guys are sponges. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. Hi, what's your phone number? First thing you do is you're trying to get something from her. Oh wow, this guy's a really powerful CEO. Hi, I would love to work for you. How much do you pay? You're immediately a sponge. Be of value. Be of value. How do you do it? I'll give you an example. I put out an ad, not an ad, I put out a tweet in Twitter saying, hey, if you're a good writer, DM me. And what do most people say? Tons of people DM'd me and said, hey, I'm a good writer. Tell me more, sponge. Is it of any value to me to tell this person who I don't know more? In other words, I don't know whether it's even worth it for me to tell this person more and they want me to tell them more. Sponge, leech, vampire, sucker. They just suck out of you. Never work with people like that. Women, they know leeches, vampires, and suckers because 99.9% of men are leeches, vampires, and suckers. First thing that happens, you walk up to a beautiful girl at a bar or a club, first thing you do is what? You cop a feel. You grab her arm, your tricep or whatnot, or you look at her legs. You're extracting value before giving any value. You're extracting value from her, which is why she's like, ew. She feels like part of her spirit is being sucked out of her. Why do you think you're single? Why do you think you don't have a hot girlfriend? Become the watermelon. Give before you ask for anything in return. Like for instance, hey, I need writers. Anybody want a job, a high-paying job as a writer? What if someone wrote me and said, hey, I'm a writer. I love your content. It's really helped me out a lot. That gives to me some emotional feedback. Okay, that's valuable to me. Then he gives to me his professional background. I was a writer for Esquire. I'm a creative writer. I'm also a poet. I won the National Poetry. It's giving me more data. You see what I'm saying? No one has done that yet. Out of dozens of people that contacted me, hey, give me more information. I want to be your writer. Sucker. Suck. Take. Hey, baby. What's your phone number? Suck. Take. Molest. That's what everybody does. Don't do that. Don't be the sponge in this tub of water, in this bowl of water. Be the watermelon that just goes doof into this bowl and have all this water splash back up at you. When someone asks for something, it's because they know that they can be of more valuable to you than what they're asking for. When someone successful asks for something. So when you approach a potential CEO, if you're trying to get a job, let's just say you're trying to get a job, and you actually got the first interview. Give. Become the watermelon. Become a huge splash in that basin of water that's the interview meeting. Give value. Say things like, hey, I loved your last ad campaign. I think it was brilliant. I don't know how many sales it produced, but I think if you also used that same concept but targeted this demographic, you'd actually have more sales. So you're giving thoughts. I think your company morale is fantastic. I love what you've done with the company feeling. Now, I think that if you did this, or I would like to do this because I've done this in the past, and it produced even better results. So you're giving. Make sure you give something that's actually useful though. Instead of, you plop down at the first interview meeting, and the first thing you say is, instead of giving anything, you want to take. So before we start the meeting, I have a couple questions. You're already gone. The first thing you should do when you sit down at a meeting to be hired or to get venture capital or whatnot, figure out something to give to this person. If you know the person personally, let's say it's a famous CEO, or even if it's not a famous CEO, do some research about the person. Go find a Facebook profile or Instagram or something and figure out what they like and bring what they like to the table, literally to that interview table. So let's say you see a bunch of pictures of this potential CEO, this guy that's trying to hire you, or that's put out a help wanted ad. And on his Instagram page, he's got a bunch of pictures of carrot cake, which probably means he likes carrot cake. So while you go into the meeting, before you go into the meeting, buy some freaking carrot cake and present it to him during the meeting. That's giving. What does that do? That tells the CEO much more than what you just did. What that tells the CEO is that, this guy does research. This guy pays attention to subtleties, subtle cues. This guy knows how to win over people. Hired. And you didn't even say a word. You might have said, hello. By the way, I brought this for you. What is that, like 8 words or something, 9 words? Hello, by the way, I brought this for you. 9 words. That's it. Plop down the carrot cake that you saw featured so many times on his Twitter or whatnot. Give. It shows attention to detail. It proves that you're different from everybody else. instead of creating a liability, first thing that ends up happening uh, with most people is that they create a liability. They create a debt. The moment they come into contact with you, they create a debt. I had a person recognize me on the street, and I was super busy, and I had to go. And you know what he does? He says, "Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second." What is that? That's creating a debt. That makes me want to wait a second for somebody that hasn't given me anything. That makes me wait in line for somebody that's going to do something that I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what the ROI is on that 1 or 2 seconds. And so I'm like, I have no idea what the ROI is on this waiting for 1 second. So I start walking away. What does he do? He runs toward me. He ran into a shop and bought like a couple cans of soda, like 50-cent cans of soda or something. 2 cans of 50-cent soda, and he runs back to me, and he puts a soda can in my hand. Now I know the liability. Now I know the pros and cons, the ROI on this. For 50 cents, he's going to talk to me for as long as it takes me to drink this cola, which for 50 cents he's trying to buy about 3 minutes of my time. I value my time at a couple $1,000s a minute. I will not spend a single minute talking about something or doing something or being with someone I don't want to be with. A couple thousand, no. Let's say if I didn't want to be with somebody and you wanted me to sit with them for a minute, you couldn't get me to do it for less than $50,000. $49,000. Hey, I'll give you $49,000 if you sit with this person. Try it right now. I will not do it. My life is that precious. I don't know if I'll walk out the door right now and get run over by a car. I don't want my last $49,000 that I earned before my accidental death to be sitting with somebody I didn't want to sit with for money I didn't even spend. Do you even know when you're doing something that's being leechy versus being a value giver, a value adder? You may not even ever have thought in those. Think this way. Is this imposing on someone? Is this an imposition? Is this a burden? Well, how is it a burden if I just walk up to a woman and that I just met in the club and I just put my hand on her shoulder? How is that a burden? It's just being friendly. No, it's a burden. How is jumping into your DMs and asking for more information about this job opportunity a burden? How is that it's an imposition? How is jumping into a meeting with an interview or with a potential boss at a company I want to work for and asking them how much they pay, how is that sponging? How is that being a vampire? Or it is. It's an imposition. You may not even you probably, no, I'm certain you don't realize how leechy, vampire-y, sucky, spongy you're being, which is also why 99.9% of the people on this planet are that poor. Because all they're trying to do is take, without knowing how to give. So maybe the first thing to do is study what things do beautiful women value. What things, what actions, what events, what thoughts, what data do rich men value? Start there. And know that everything else that they don't value that you're offering is leeching. Otters. I love otters. Sea otters. Do you know that sea otters come up to people, especially if they like the person, they come up to people and they give the people clams. Literally, they'll dig up clams in the sand, little oyster clams or whatever they are, and give these clams to the people that they like. It's the cutest thing in the world. Cutest thing in the world. But to the person, what is that? It's an imposition. Why? Because the person, what are you going to do with this potentially toxic clam or oyster that this cute little sea otter brought to you? What are you going to do with it? You're just going to have to find a trash can to throw it away. You can't eat it. You're not going to put it in your pocket because it's just going to leak all sorts of fishy oyster water. It's an imposition to you. So what you think is of value, what you're doing, hey, if I walk up to a girl and say, ciao, bella, and put my arm around her and then kiss her once, and she's a total stranger, I'm showing love. I'm giving love to her. You may think that. Irrelevant. Figure out what beautiful women find of value. Figure out what potential hires, potential bosses, potential VCs, angel funders find of value, and give those things to them before asking for a single thing back.